You're listening to The Authenticity Show, where you get to eavesdrop on great conversations about health, creativity, and the quest for excellence. Your hosts are Carlos Casados and Satch Purcell. Before we get started, I'd like to remind you to subscribe to The Authenticity Show wherever you get your podcasts, and find us on social media. Like us, follow us, reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. Our guest today is the amazing and talented Kim Lee. Kim Lee is the owner and director of Pacific Conservatory, a music school in Orange, California. She's also a pianist and accompanist at Santa Ana College, and all-around cool chick and lady about town. She's a good friend of ours, and we are very excited to have her on the show. So let's talk to Kim Lee. So we're talking to Kim Lee here. Hi, well, thanks for being on our show, Kim Lee.
Thank you, Oliver.
Welcome to the Authenticity Show.
It's good to have you. Okay, now, is it Lee or is it Lay?
It's both.
But which one is it?
I think here in America, most people, by and large, will say Lee.
Yeah.
But in Vietnam, it'd be Lay.
Yeah.
But I also wouldn't call myself Kim Lee. I'd be Lê Tien Kim. Last name, middle name, first name.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
That's right.
so
That's right.
Kim
Okay.
Lee works.
All right.
Okay.
You're Kim Lee here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Very good.
So you run a music school in Orange called Pacific Conservatory,
Yes.
right? You've been doing it for a while now, and what's that like?
There is a lot of fun to be had when you get to have creative control of your own little school. I enjoyed coming up with my own curriculum, starting to use my own books, and diverting from the things that I didn't feel like were working in the past when I was a teacher there. I had taught there for 15 years and used the same curriculum the whole time. And it didn't feel like it would resonate with the kids that are out these days as much as it did back then. So I changed it up, and I enjoy it. I enjoy every aspect of it, except when the toilets get clogged up.
Yeah. You can't call anyone because you're the one to call.
I am now the one to call.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's bad enough, I do. But yeah, that was one of those first realizations. I was about to go to a dinner with my family. I had on a pretty dress, and I got a call from one of the teachers, Kim, the toilet.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's really
So
shitty.
I stopped, went back to school. So that's now just a way of life.
Yeah. Wow.
So you taught there, and it was owned by someone else, and then eventually you bought the school? How did that happen?
Brenda Eads was my boss for 15 years, and she trained me and taught me how to teach group classes and taught me everything she knew, basically. Not knowing necessarily that I would take over for her, but she did plant that seed early on. She didn't have children of her own, so she always figured one of her teachers would take over someday. And that someday came 15 years later.
How long have you been the owner now?
4 years.
4 years. Okay.
Yeah, this is my senior year.
Oh, yeah. You're a senior. Wow. All
So
right.
graduate.
A senior during the COVID-19 crisis, so no graduation for you.
Do you have
That's right.
senioritis?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, it'd be nice to just go to the beach, but
Senior prank day.
senior prank day, exactly. It's time to put the car on the roof,
The piano. The piano will go
piano
on
on
the
the
roof.
roof, exactly.
So you're a pianist,
Yes,
and you have other teachers that teach there, right?
yes. There's one that I know pretty well that's right in this room.
Right, I teach there too.
Yes.
So what do you teach every instrument, or is there any instrument you don't teach, or give us the gamut of what you can learn if you're a student at Pacific Conservatory?
You can take lessons in any genre of music that you choose. We do start with a classical education for the piano students, and we use kind of a proper, somewhat old school but somewhat modernized method. But as soon as a kid says they want to learn a rock song, I'm all over it. I'm okay with that. Right. So we have piano, voice, guitar, drums, ukulele, violin, and we teach foreign language.
Nice.
Oh,
You teach a language too?
Yeah, we have Italian, French, Spanish, and Farsi.
Wow. Farsi?
Yeah.
How did that happen? Like, was that always there? Or is that something that's happened since you've been there?
Oh, no, that was there before me.
Wow, Farsi.
A lot of
didn't
things
know
that
you-
Brenda did
I had no
are
idea
still the
you had
same.
language there. That's
yeah,
awesome.
most people don't. But we do have a good little following.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really cool.
So Kim, one of the things I've always admired about you is how active you are in your community. It seems like you're always doing something. You're like at City Hall, or you're with the Chamber of Commerce, or you're, cutting a ribbon somewhere, or doing something like. How do you do all this stuff? You're like all over the place.
Yeah, it's noticeable for sure.
Yeah.
I have a minivan.
You have a minivan.
That's my secret. Yeah.
Well, there you have it, folks.
Yeah. Get a minivan, you'll be okay.
I have a minivan, but I don't do all that stuff. No, like where does that come from? Where does this drive to participate in so many things? Where does this come from?
I think a lot of it, if I were to be honest, comes from upbringing and maybe being told that I was not good enough and kind of having to feel this constant need to do better. And part of it is just, I love my town. I grew up here, and some people were really amazing to me. And I hope that I can be that person for a child today. I also had a lot of people who helped me out when I first started the business. I'm not a business person at heart. I come from a family of artists. My dad at first said, "This will never work. We're a family of artists. We're not business people, Kim." I said, "Well, I hope I can prove you wrong, Dad." He said, "Well, I hope so too." So all the help that I got, I mean, if I don't give it back to the next person who comes up, then what good is it? Because I get to help so many more people now because other people have helped me and brought me up. So I just try to do the same. That's what I do with the Chamber of Commerce. It's a business group, so we help the new businesses and or businesses in need of help. We help them stay afloat.
So you're like on the board of directors or something for the Chamber of Commerce, right?
Yeah.
So since you're a self-proclaimed non-business person who runs a business and is the principal of her own school, do you take an artist's approach to your work, like through the Chamber of Commerce, or how does that work? Because you're not this business person, yet you're very involved in that world. So how does an artist do that? What's that like?
I have very much, I think that if we looked at my brain 4 years ago and looked at it today, I don't know what would look the same. I honestly...
New software?
Yeah, definitely a lot of new downloaded software. And to the point where I make it a point to play and practice because I'm afraid of losing those skills.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's only so much time in a day and so much room in the brain. And it's very different now upstairs.
You are really good at networking. Having hung out with you privately, just hanging, going to friends' parties, going to musical events and concert, little recitals and things like that, and to events like for the Chamber of Commerce meetings and things like that. I can say and attest that you are really good at it. You're good at building connections, but behind all of that, there's always a real feeling of heart behind it, which I love. It's not like I'm saying, "Oh, you're so good at being a car salesman" or something like that. It's not like that. I mean, I find that you genuinely build connections with people easily and effortlessly. And when we're out, I see that we run into people who know you, and they're so stoked to see you.
Always run into people that know Kim.
Yeah, right? It's always. It's everyone. It's like Kim knows everyone.
I hear that sometimes.
It's awesome. You're really good at that. And I think it's wonderful.
I think it's all the music training. I remember a lot of names. And I love people. I mean, there's a big place in my brain that I just, I used to spend it and I just think about people and all the people that I know. And is this person okay? And is this person doing okay today? And this person has a new job. This person has a new child, I think about those things a lot.
You know what I think about?
What?
Kim for mayor.
Oh,
Whoa.
That's the first time I've been told that today.
Are you prepared, Kim, to announce your candidacy
Right.
on air tonight?
Yeah, when's the official release date of that information?
Oh, I'm okay with that being the mayor.
I can already see the yard signs.
Me too. Kim Le.
That's right.
I have a story about people knowing Kim Lee. We were at the Orange Street Fair, which is a big deal here in Orange, California,
Awesome.
by the Orange Circle, Chapman and Glassell. And I was performing with some students from the school. I was playing bass, which was fun. Actually, that was my first actual gig as a bass player. So thank you for allowing me to become a bass player.
My pleasure.
But, so and it's just like packed. It's just like madness everywhere at the Orange Street Fair, right? You've been there, right? It's just crazy.
It's pandemonium.
It's pretty cool,
for
but
3 days straight.
it's chaotic.
Yeah.
We walk, and I'm following Kim. Kim is like just kind of, leading this group of people that are following her around. And we walk to Haven Gastropub, which is a really popular
I
restaurant.
love that place.
Owned by my friend Will D. I'm going to
Place
plug
is
that
packed.
place right now.
Place is
She
packed.
even knows. She
There's
knows Will D.
There's a line out the door. We walk in. The owner says, "Kim, I have a table for you." We walk past like 100 fucking people. And he sits us down at a table and serves us drinks immediately. I was like, holy shit. Glad to know this person.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
That's my
that
new
going
nickname
on.
for you, the mayor.
The mayor. I like it.
Oh, my
the
goodness.
mayor.
Yeah, you got a new nickname.
The musical mayor.
That's a good one. I like that.
So, Kim, you said that you think of people and you think about what they're up to and what they're doing. When you said that, I sort of realized that it's not that I don't think of people. I mean, I do think of people, but I don't think that way. And you just introduced me to a completely new way of thinking about
did
all the
I?
people that I know. Like to actually scan and think of all the people that I know, right? This is going to be different from now on, Carlos. I'm going to be thinking about all the people that I know and what they're up to and reaching out to them. It's going to be very interesting. I'm not sure I have time to do this. Thanks,
Yes.
Kim. I'm busy enough. Now I'm going to be as busy as you, right?
Yeah.
But that's an interesting idea to just think of all the people that you know. And then, what are the questions that you ask yourself about what they're up to?
Well, I just texted a friend tonight that I hadn't talked to since the whole COVID thing happened. And she started a new job, so I don't get to see her very much anymore. She was a field rep for Congressman Correa before. Rachel Rolnicki is her name. It'll come back up later, so I'm going to mention it now. And I thought, oh my goodness, she just got an amazing promotion. And I haven't heard from her. So I just texted her and said, hey, how are you?
Okay.
How's the new job going?
Okay. All right.
Kind of cool and exciting. She's now working at the Orange County Business Council, so I'm happy for her.
Very nice. Yeah.
Maybe she'll text me back.
I feel so selfish all of a sudden. Not thinking about all the people that I know and what they're up to. Yeah.
No,
But-
Satch, when I think about you, that's really the first thing I think
Selfishness,
about.
yeah.
You.
Yeah,
Selfishness.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'm joking.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm the mayor of selfishness.
Better than being the mayor of Simpleton.
Oh.
If I can throw in an 80s reference there.
Okay.
So yeah, that's another thing I wanted to ask you, Kim. This whole COVID-19 pandemic. I'll kill some time while you pour the wine into your empty White Claw can.
And the floor. And bubbles on the
Keeping it
floor.
classy. I'll probably cut that out.
She's human. She's human, folks.
Oh, she's human? Damn. Okay, so like a lot of businesses are going out of business. So how do you stay in business? I mean, did you have to take out a loan? Did you lose money? Or like how's that going for you financially?
Financially, it's been the most amazing journey. I've learned through business ownership how hard I can fall and still survive. And this has definitely been the hardest fall. I mean, I finally got to 4 years. I'm feeling like a senior, and then this happens, and I'm back on, back on the floor where I started.
Resilience.
Yeah, absolute resilience, and just having trust in the process and not falling to pieces every time something catastrophic happens. And things do happen, And
So did you like use up your savings? I mean, yeah.
Yep, I used. But you know what? A lot of parents were amazing. Some quit, of course. Some quit, but then some said, "We're not going to come in, but here's our monthly check anyway,
Wow.
because we want you to stay in business."
Wonderful. That's love.
Yeah. We really
Support.
have a good community of people. A few teachers offered to teach for free. I mean, who does that? Who says, "I'll just keep doing my job, but you don't have to give me money"?
Wow.
Yeah.
Now I feel guilty for not doing that.
Hey, that's okay. Things
It
are okay
hurts,
now.
doesn't it? Yeah, it hurts, doesn't it, Ollie? Yeah.
It digs a hole in the soul, doesn't it? All of
Yeah.
it weighs heavily.
And the Community Foundation of Orange stepped up and started offering our children more scholarships. So that with that money, I'm able to pay my teachers and keep going. A lot of people were affected by this, of course, layoffs and lost revenue. And
Unemployment went from like 4% to like 30% or something. It's crazy.
it's crazy.
I don't know
yeah.
what the actual unemployment rate is, but I'm sure it's big, right?
Yeah, and of course, music lessons are non-essential for a lot of people.
I guess
So,
not. I mean-
yeah, I find it hard to see it that way, but it is when you're considering whether or not you're going to feed your child. So,
Yeah, food is more important than music, I guess. I guess, yeah.
yeah,
I would
we'll
agree
have to
with
give food that.
that. Yeah.
And so, because of this pandemic, they have a scholarship called the Kids Play Scholarship Fund. And whereas normally there'd be a lot of sports happening where the money could be allocated, that all went away. And we were able to still teach online. I mean, I kind of picked that up and threw that at the teachers overnight. By the way, we're all going to be teaching on Zoom now. And here's how to do it. But then because of that, we were able to still get scholarship money, still help kids as best we could, given the situation. And it kept us afloat. I got my idol. So I got my idol loan. The economic injury disaster loan.
EIDL. Got it.
Yeah, they call it the idol.
Okay.
Yeah, got it.
So when that came, then it was like a relief. Oh my gosh, I can afford rent again. I can afford to pay my teachers, and I can afford to do all the things that it'll take for a music school to sustain itself in the long run, knowing what we know now, like acrylic shields and air purification systems and all of the new sanitization requirements. So very, very lucky.
You said that one of the things you learned is not to fall apart when like some disaster happens as a business owner.
Yeah.
What's your strategy for that? What's like the first thing you think of? Something tough happens, and what's Kim Lay's advice for how to not fall apart when something happens?
Just trust in the process. Trust that there will be a period of stress after which things are bound to get better again. If you're creative enough and strong enough to figure it out. Yeah. But it takes some major times of just sitting there and thinking, And I do have to stop running around, and I just have to really concentrate, and I have to brainstorm.
So you actually like just sit down and have think sessions.
Yeah, I have to. Okay. And I'm just by myself, and sometimes it stresses me out, but I have to do it.
You sit down and have think sessions. I've done that.
Yeah, right.
I've had a problem, and I've thought, I'm going to have to just like sit down and think this through for a while.
Or lie down.
Or lay down.
Yeah.
Or hopefully have a dream that gives me the solution. Right.
I have very vivid dreams, and I do figure out a lot of things in dreams.
Oh, really? How so?
That's cool.
I figured out how to play like whole styles of music that I couldn't figure out in real life, and then I dreamt it, and it finally, it clicks.
Good for you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have a friend who's a pilot, and before he can do a trick in the air, he kind of goes through it in his dreams. So I'm a lucid dreamer, and I just kind of have a lot of stuff happen when I sleep. Sleeping is important.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
So you are a lucid dreamer, you
Yeah.
said. Nice. I've done some lucid dreaming. That's
Fun,
really,
right?
it's really a wonderful thing if
It
you
is.
can learn how to do it. Do you have a technique that you use for waking up in your dreams? Like, how do you get lucid?
The way my lucid dreams always start is with the sensation of falling.
Okay.
And I fall, and it's scary. And the way I dream, I'm very awake even if I'm dreaming. So if I'm falling, I can actually wake myself up. If I'm scared, I'll wake myself up, then I'm awake. But if I remember to trust the process, trust the fall, then it turns into a lucid dream.
Trust the fall. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
at
that's
that point, then you can start controlling things.
Oh, and then it's like total freedom.
Total freedom. I can drive as fast as I want without worrying of...
Do anything you want.
Yeah, I've trained myself to fly to New York at one point where I couldn't go to New York.
Wow.
I flew from here to New York with
funny
my
that you-
arms.
That you said that. We were planning on doing a trust fall with you later.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, just so you know.
Do I have to be awake for that?
No.
Okay, good.
What I do is, if something weird happens, I'll do this all the time when I'm awake, right? Because you have to be able to test whether you're dreaming when you're awake.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do it when you're awake, then you'll never do it, right? So what I'll do is I'll just jump in place. I'll just stand and jump. And if I come right back down, maybe I'm dreaming and maybe I'm not. But if I don't come back down,
Then you know.
I'm definitely dreaming. And it's like a free test. You can do it anytime.
Exactly. I mean, I know that there's the indicators, like, you know that if you're reading and the words don't make sense, usually that means you're in a lucid dream.
That works for me too.
Yeah.
I do that.
For me, yeah, but as soon as I realize I'm lucid, the fall turns into an upwards rise, and I'm breaking through ceilings
Yeah.
and trees, and then I'm up in the sky. I love to fly.
I remember looking at clocks, and
Clocks.
the numbers would start to shift as I would look at it. I'm like, okay, I'm lucid dreaming, or astral, if we want to put it that way,
Yeah.
having an out-of-body experience. Because the clock is behaving strangely.
Yeah.
That would tell me.
Is that the same thing in your mind? Lucid dreaming
Astral
and
projection?
astral travel? Astral projection?
There's a paper-thin difference between the two, in my experience.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a very, very thin difference, but yeah, it feels different. One of them is definitely more physical to me.
Which one?
Astral. The
Okay.
astral experience is a more, or like an etheric feeling, like I'm taking all of the sensation of being in my body, and it's all there along with my mind and all the other things. Whereas when I'm having a lucid dream, it's less physical, slightly, and more of a mental experience for me.
Okay.
Which I don't know why that, like, as I say it out loud, that sounds slightly irrational because, all of it's mind, right? But
Yeah.
it's just the way I differentiate that in my thinking, my experience.
So is astral travel or some sort of astral experience something you can experience while you're awake? Or is it all
Yes.
part of like an oniric kind of landscape?
It's all, there's always a hypnagogic or gogic, kind of state that's going on where you're in between. But what I've noticed is when I'm having an astral experience, it's slightly more conscious.
Okay.
There's a lot more of an awareness of the room that I'm in physically. Like maybe that's a differential right there, a differentiation that's important. When I'm having an astral experience, I'm very aware that there's a body that I'm normally in, that's in the bed or in the chair or on the floor or whatever, whilst I'm exploring this other world.
Right. And maybe you can look back and see that.
I
body.
can at any moment. I'm instantly aware of where my body is, so I can sense that. I feel it's almost like I'm feeling two things at once. I'm aware that my body is in the bed, and I could feel if someone were to like glaze their finger along my my wrist or forearm, I would sense that immediately.
So there's sort of a duality to the.
There's a
astral.
duality, yeah. I think you're right about that. It's like I'm aware of two things at once. Lucid dreaming, not as much.
A little bit of a tangent here, but that's okay.
It is.
I tend to wake up the second I realize I'm dreaming.
Oh,
As soon as I realize I'm dreaming, I'm awake.
Because it's so exciting, right? You're like, holy shit, I can do whatever I want. Oh, I'm awake.
Well, I think enlightenment is going to be like that for me. I think I'm going to go, oh, wait a minute. Oh, I'm enlightened. Just like that, and that's how it's going to be. I'm like, oh, I'm glad I woke up from that. Then it'll be lucid living.
Yeah.
Is what that's going to be. It's basically like Zoom. Astral travel is just basically Zoom. That's all it is.
It is
It's just Zoom.
So the pandemic is training us to be astral beings.
Oh yeah, it's getting us ready for the next wave. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah, totally. Well, this was fun, Kim. Thanks for getting us talking about dreaming.
Yeah.
We did a whole dream episode, so it was fun.
Oh, I love it.
It was a lot of fun. But you said that like you when you do your lucid dreaming, you start to go up and you start going through ceilings and things like that. It sounds kind of metaphorical for what you've experienced kind of in your life. You sort of said that earlier, that
In a
you kind of
weird
had
way.
something to prove, and it's consistent in your dreams.
rising to new heights,
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
And
getting beyond boundaries,
trusting the fall and not being afraid to fail. And
overcoming obstacles.
yeah.
Yeah.
It all kind of I didn't even connect that until I said it out loud here.
Walking through walls.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So, well, when you said that you trust the fall when you go into a lucid dream, that's what you just said about, I asked you that question, how do you do that when there's a little catastrophe, in business or something, and you just sort of know you're going to be okay. You trust it and you go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. I'm curious, what you're a music teacher.
Yes.
Right. What is your musical background? How did this start for you? What's the Lil Kim story?
Little Kim started piano lessons at 4 years old, and they were really nice. But I think my parents quickly decided that another teacher would be better. I mean, like, mad respect for you, Oliver, and how much you work on teaching your own kids music. It didn't work in my family. And it's not working with my generation now either, with my own children.
Your first teacher was your father?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, my father and my mother.
Okay.
They're both musicians. Father met mother when he was a choir director. She was a soprano. I think it's a pretty traditional pairing. And yeah, then war broke loose, hell broke loose. And then they fled to America and had me.
From Vietnam?
Yeah, from Vietnam.
Yeah.
After the fall of Saigon.
Wow.
And then had me 4 years later.
Wow. So you were born in America?
Yeah.
The United States, I should say, because there's more to America than the United States.
True.
Right?
America.
So was piano always your instrument? Was that your thing?
Yeah, we started with piano lessons, and though I've taken some other instruments here and there, I've taken a little violin lessons, trombone, clarinet, drums. I'm mostly still a pianist. That's the one instrument that it's irreducible. I got to have it.
Right.
Do you do that with one hand, the little violin that you took lessons about? Just curious.
Yeah, why didn't you take normal size violin lessons?
Yeah,
I'm
kind of curious
what's up with
about
that?
too.
Yeah.
I think that's bad parenting.
Why are piano players so black and white? I don't get it. I don't get it. So linear.
Totally.
Right. Yeah.
That's the key, really.
That is the key.
Well, and also, Kim, you have a skill that I tremendously admire. You are an accompanist.
Oh.
You work at Santa Ana College, right, as an accompanist on the piano.
Yeah, I just wrapped up working on my director's big musical that he wrote this kind of it's not an oratorio, but I think it's more of a musical, and he did it during his sabbatical. That's Dr. Elliot Jones of Santa Ana College, and he just got an award for his composition, which was beautiful. Wow. So we just wrapped a show in December. So we were doing Frankenstein in December, which was kind of fun.
Wow.
Frankenstein.
Yeah, it was an adaptation.
That's Frankenstein to you.
Mm-hmm. So we just played that and.
Nice. But so I have a friend named Lonzo Luconi, who we all know,
Yay.
who we do music nerd editions of the Authenticity Show. I think we've done 3 so far. Actually, we just recorded one last week. You guys didn't even know that.
Oh,
Nice.
I didn't even know. It was exciting.
Ninja recording.
But we had a discussion about accompanists, and we both agreed that accompanists are the unsung heroes of the music world. And I think Lonzo was saying there should be statues at every university honoring the accompanists, because I swear to God, you guys do more work. Like, there'll be some kid doing a recital, like a violinist doing a recital. The accompanist on the piano does like 4 times the amount of work and has to sight read everything. And the standards are higher for you, because if you make one mistake, then it's bad, right? And it's just like this amazing skill. How do you... I watched you sight read an opera thing like a couple months ago when we did a gig. And I think it was in like D flat or something. There's fucking like 6 flats, and you're sight reading it perfectly. How do you do that?
It's like reading a book.
I guess so.
You practice reading enough.
It's a very small amount of people in the world that can do that kind of thing.
It's like reading a book, but reading 4 to 6 sentences at the same time. Actually, it's kind of
exactly.
That
it's
sounds like
crazy.
a problem to me. Yeah, I think I could do that.
But only in music can it make sense, right? It's like
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's
like here's this one line, it's up here, and here's another one that's down there, and your eyes just have to scan, vertical, up and down, and it's
So
neat.
is this easy for you, or did you have to work hard to be able to do this?
I've worked very hard. Yeah.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah, and I've had a lot of years of practice being an accompanist. I had some very patient people with me in the beginning when I started working as an accompanist at the age of 18. And that's why I will always have a soft spot in my heart for Santa Ana College, because they gave me this very rare and marketable skill.
Speaking of awards, I keep seeing you being awarded in all these different ways, and kind of want to ask you about that as well. You got awarded recently, didn't you?
Yeah, right in the middle of this, the start of this COVID scare. Last year, I got an Ambassador of the Year award with the Chamber of Commerce. That was in 2019, and then just this year, I was given 2 awards in March in honor of Women's History Month, and it's also 100 years this year since women's suffrage. So
Wow.
it was kind of a cool year until, everything got turned upside down. But I got 2 Women of the Year awards this year at the state and federal level. So one is a congressional award, and one is a local, like a state assembly and a... I don't know. See, this is why I was researching tonight. I don't know what I'm talking about.
But somehow, but you didn't get to go to Sacramento to receive your award because of COVID-19, right?
Sorry.
Oh, I see. You have your notes here. Good.
Yeah, because I didn't know what I was
But
doing.
doesn't that also speak a little bit to Kim, though? I mean,
Yeah.
that she doesn't even know the awards she got. Like, honestly, that's super cute, and it's also like, it's very much you. Like, you're not you're not an arrogant person. You're not a prideful person. You're a very humble, modest person. And I find that very beautiful.
I feel like
So I just think that just fits perfectly, that you don't even know what the awards were perfectly, because even though you appreciate them, there's a modesty. It's like you don't think, I'm going to have to be able to, I want to have to tell everybody what I've done, to
Right.
signal everybody that's who I am. Because it's not, who you are is just an awesome person.
Oh,
Is who
thank
you
you,
are.
Carlos.
You deserve to get lots. You deserve every reward you've gotten and then some. But it's just awesome. Anyway, I love you.
Oh, I love you
Can you
too,
tell I
Carlos.
love you?
Oh, I love you so much.
I love you, Kim.
You were one of those people that has helped me through the beginning of these times where things were really stressful, like negotiating contracts for commercial property. That's nothing I've ever done. And you talked me through that, and you helped me calm down and made it so that I could do it and do it well, and go through negotiations and
Yeah.
tense conversations.
Well, of course, I'm always there for you as a friend, but therein lies another example of how you are. I mean, I'm complimenting you, and here you are complimenting me. It's just, It's cute, and it's sweet, and it's loving, and anyway.
This is like a tennis match.
Yeah.
No, stop it, Kim.
Kochi.
So, if I do have the chance, I do want to thank the people who gave me the award.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, the one that I found out about first was the Assembly Award. So it was Dr. Stephen Choi of the 68th Assembly District. So he, basically an assemblyman, in case you guys don't know, it's like the job of like 6 mayors, basically, or 5 mayors.
Wow.
So he represents Anaheim, Irvine, Lake Forest, Orange, Tustin, North Tustin, and Villa Park.
Wow.
And he goes to Sacramento, and he proposes bills to help out our town, and he's a tireless fighter for the rights of people who are underrepresented, and all sorts of situations that have to do with human trafficking and all, a number of things that no one wants to have to think about.
Wow.
Stephen Choi, respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he is a Republican working in Irvine right now. And that's where my award is from. So what was interesting is that my other award, also a Women of the Year award, came from Congressman Lou Correa. And he's a Democrat. And he's a great man too, I mean, these are both people that I look up to who are doing right by their towns. And anybody in charge gets a bad rap, but I know that they love their cities. And so I really appreciate that.
Bipartisan recognition.
Bipartisan recognition. Yeah.
That's
Very
pretty
nice.
awesome.
Yeah, it's nice to hear.
But I'm a musician, politics have nothing to do with what I do.
Right.
We, Oliver, we make everybody
Exactly.
hopefully feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
The bards have a special place in the world, don't they? Always have.
Like Mercury, we can travel between the worlds.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So Kim, I'm just going to have to pry a little bit more.
Okay.
Because you're very humble, and we ask you about your awards, and you thank the people that gave them to you. Help us understand, or help any listeners understand, what are some of the things that somebody would do to be recognized and to earn awards like this? Because I mean, you obviously had to do some things, and some pretty nice, special things that mattered to some people.
Right.
Share some of those things.
The award with Stephen Choi, one of my employees wrote a very nice letter, and he chose me from, I don't know how many people, a lot, but the employee wrote a very, I guess, persuasive letter, and she's one of the teachers that I helped. She kind of looked to me she student taught with me when she was getting her credential for teaching music, for teaching piano. So I helped her out a lot. I gave her my time, and she wrote a nice letter. So
Lovely. Okay.
yeah, returning the love with more love.
Yeah. All right.
And the Congressional Award was given to me. I had no idea that this person thought about me at all, but apparently she was. So that goes back to Rachel Rolnicki. And she was, at the time, the field representative for Congressman Correa. And I would run into her at all the different events in town, ribbon cuttings, like you say, Oliver. And
You have a giant pair of scissors.
yes, and I know how to use them.
It's like that scene from The Big Lebowski, right?
Oh, that's like the dream sequence.
I want to watch that.
Cut off your Johnson, Mr. Lebowski. We are nihilists.
It's not like that. I don't think it's like that.
Oh man.
Unless we're going back into lucid dreaming. And then
Yes. Yes. It
Yeah.
is.
Well, that was kind of that was the dream scene.
It was the dream
Okay.
scene.
Anyways, back to Kim. Yeah. So you do actually have a large, giant pair of scissors.
They're not mine. They belong to the chamber, but you can often be found with that giant pair of scissors in the back of my minivan.
Okay. Are they sharp?
Very.
They're really, seriously, they're very
Yeah,
sharp. So
very sharp.
so don't play with those.
No.
Have you ever run with those? I'm just curious.
Only in my dreams.
I'm wondering the same
Okay,
thing. so-
good. Yeah.
I would advise that in real life.
Running with scissors,
In your
giant
dreams.
scissors. Yeah. Oh man.
So, Kim, we're in a band together, you and me.
It's true, Oliver.
People need to know this. We have a band called Odmoya.
That's right.
The leader of the band is Eric Salinas,
Yes.
who is amazing in his own right, multi-talented guitar player, songwriter.
And also just super humble and,
Yeah. And we have our rehearsals at your school
yep,
after hours. These sometimes run late into the night, past midnight sometimes.
absolutely.
And they're really super fun. I joined the band recently. I'm the bass player in the band. And I also sing
And singer.
sometimes. But it's such a fun band because it's like everyone's just there to have a good time. There's no expectations or deadlines or any of those things you get sometimes with professional musicians. It's
Exactly.
it's almost like I show up and like time ceases to exist. We're just there, and it's like I really enjoy playing with Odmoya.
That's a nice thing that you said. I think Eric would love to hear you say that, because the tagline on the Odmoya page is music from a time you never knew.
Yeah, because I remember listening, and I think the comment that I made was that I felt like there was a bit of the kind of absinthe days of like the impressionist French time. What am I talking about here? What's that? The impressionist period.
Yeah, the
when
Impressionist
that
period.
was so popular. There's kind of a
fin de siècle
there's maybe a slight
around the turn of the century, the last century.
exactly like Victorian kind of mix of stuff going on there. I really liked it. When I heard you guys, it put me in a dreamy state. Speaking of dream states,
Oh, good.
just listening to it, because it was, I don't know, I resonated with the music, with the sound.
Well, if we ever have live music again in the world,
We will.
hopefully we'll play again.
I think the first forms that'll come back are obviously outdoor concerts. If anything's going to come back in terms of live music, that's it.
Where you can have enough social distancing or whatever.
Yeah.
Can we do a parking lot concert at Pacific Conservatory?
I think that's what we're going to do tomorrow night during our rehearsal. Is we're just going to drag everything outside and just play in the parking lot.
Yeah, in front of the Smart and Final, or next door to the Smart and Final.
We could.
I mean, is there any law against it? Is there any reason why we can't have a concert in the parking lot? I'm sure there's something, but like, what the fuck? Why not? Let's do it.
No, I have insurance for that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Insurance if we get sued or something?
Yeah, like if you fall down in the parking lot, you are covered as my employee.
I mean, I feel like a lot of things have to change, and I feel like we're all improvising right now, right?
Oh yeah, no one has a game plan for this.
Let's just be people and like turn these spaces into creative art spaces. Why can't a parking lot be a venue for amazing musical happenings?
Exactly.
A musical swap meet.
People are already starting to do that. Zove's in Tustin, the restaurant.
Zove's Bistro, I love it.
Yeah, they're cordoning off parking spaces and they're delivering food to the cars, and they're having another good friend of mine, Cliff Miller, live musician, play. Yeah, he's playing outside in the parking lot.
Nice.
So
they're doing that. You know, I was talking to Ron Kobayashi.
Yeah,
great
and
jazz
he did
pianist,
that.
and he's doing it at the Bayside
Bayside.
Restaurant in Newport Beach. You can park, and although it got ruined by gangs of unmasked people coming up and like not social distancing, but I guess they're open again for dine-in service, so I guess it's okay now.
Yeah, he's a guy who will draw a crowd.
Oh, Ron Kobayashi.
Yeah.
So Kim, do you speak Vietnamese?
Yes.
Very cool. All right, very, very cool. So I don't know. I'm just kind of always curious because I mean here we are talking to this award winner and music school principal and person who trusts the fall. I always like to just hear about somebody's cultural experience and their background and growing up. You grew up here. You went to school here in Orange County, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And what is your recommended Vietnamese dish? I need to know.
Are you carnivorous? Are you more vegetarian seeking?
Vegetariano, vegetarian.
Vegetarian?
Yeah, a pescatarian.
Pescatarian.
So what do I need to go eat?
If you do indeed like fish, there's this roast fish dish, and it's usually a gigantic catfish. The head's still on. I don't know if that bothers you.
I've had that.
It's just a big fried catfish.
Delicious.
Yes.
With like lettuce to wrap it in.
Yeah, you
and
make
things
little
like that,
lettuce
and
wraps with it. There's
little
lots
pickled vegetables and
of... Oh, yeah. And
chili
garlic
sauce
and
garlic.
onions and yeah.
Love that.
We should
Grilled
all go.
onions.
That sounds great.
Sounds great.
Where can we get this?
Little Saigon.
Okay.
Got to go to a restaurant for that.
Let's go together.
Now that you mention it, I may have had it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, no, I didn't have like the whole fish. It was like a batter dipped thing, and that I had. So no, I don't think I've quite had that.
Do you like shrimp?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll eat some shrimp.
There's also a very popular Vietnamese dish called bánh xèo, and that's basically this yellow crepe. It's fried. So it's almost like a big taco, but there's bean sprouts, mung bean, shrimp. You dip it in fish sauce. You do everything in fish sauce.
Okay.
And that's good too.
It's kind of ironic, isn't it?
Yeah.
So no, let's talk about Jaya. Let's talk about dessert.
Oh,
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Did
My
Did you
favorite.
just pull out some Vietnamese?
I did.
he did. He just dropped the jab bomb.
Whipped it out right in front of us.
Yeah, I did. And wait till you see what I whip out next, right? Which, by the way, Kim, I apologize for my poor pronunciation, but
was great.
Jejuy is really
Jejuy?
good. It's my favorite.
Yeah. Ooh,
So I just whipped
banana.
out the banana dessert.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Joy banana.
it is so good. It's
Yeah.
like salty and sweet and coconut
warm.
cream and I don't know what it is. It
Yummy.
blows my mind every time I have it. I think we need to go like have this catfish and then go have some Vietnamese dessert.
That
This is
sounds
gonna
good
be
to me.
amazing. Yeah.
I haven't ventured down there in so long. I've very seldom ventured outside of my own city because of this COVID situation.
Are they open? I mean, our places are opening up
Yeah,
now, right?
places
Some
are
restaurants
definitely-
open now.
Yeah, I think it was not last weekend, but the weekend before that latter phase 2 was finally enacted.
So are we talking about, like, where is Little... Are we talking about Westminster?
Yeah.
Westminster?
/
Yes.
Garden Grove.
So it's not that far away.
No.
It's like a 15-minute drive.
Isn't
is.
it common in Vietnamese culture for these places to be open late?
Yes.
So
Or
this
even
is good
24
for
hours.
people like us.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Us night owls.
We could go get some Vietnamese dessert and some catfish and everything.
Yeah.
You
We
know,
Do it right now.
we actually probably could.
Let's call this a good enough conversation then.
Some catfish and some jejuy. What's your favorite Vietnamese dessert?
That would, that's really up there. I can't think of another one that I don't actually. Oh, as a kid, we always called it green worms and milk.
Green worms and milk. That sounds so
Yeah.
good.
I don't even know what the real name for it is
Is that
because we
grass
just
jelly?
always.
Grass jelly and... Is that different?
I don't like. There is a grass jelly dessert, but the green worms and milk is just coconut milk, and it's what looks like just little green worms that are
Yeah.
made from maybe tapioca or something
Yeah.
more gelatinous. And
It was the precursor to modern day boba.
yeah,
Except it was green and long. Yeah.
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 But boba's Chinese, though, right?
probably.
yeah, the word boba. Yeah.
Doesn't boba mean boobs in Chinese?
Yeah, boobs or
think it
nipple or
does.
something.
Does
like
it?
that.
Boobies,
Yeah,
yeah.
boba.
That's what this... Yeah, Chinese girl.
So when I say I don't like boba,
We love boba. I mean, we do.
Yeah.
now I know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm rather partial to it myself.
Yeah.
Coming full circle with the Clinton.
Yeah, you know.
I just also want to point out that Kim pulled out some notes earlier, and her notes were on the back of a page of music notes, which I found quite ironic and amusing.
It was.
It was just cute.
Beethoven,
Is that what that is? Mm-hmm. I mean, who
Which
writes
one?
their notes on the back of Beethoven
Which
notes?
Beethoven?
Moonlight Sonata.
Ah, I love that.
Yeah,
It's
there a-
so good.
Isn't there a full moon tonight? I saw a moon.
Yeah, I believe it is.
it's been gorgeous leading up to it too.
Yeah, it has.
Tim, who's your favorite composer?
Bach,
Bach. Oh, me too.
of course.
Stop clucking like a chicken. Who do you really like?
Bach, Bach, Bach.
Bach's the best.
Bach's the best.
Why is Bach the best? Like, what's the...
Oh, dude. That's a whole nother episode.
Okay. Okay. Let's foreshadow another episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Coming soon.
As a pianist, though, I mean, Bach, yeah.
Oh, yes.
I mean, as a guitarist, I played Bach on guitar, you know.
Yeah.
Bach is a character builder, as they say, right? Because when you're working on it, it's like, I'm not getting any better at this, and I keep practicing. Well, that's Bach.
It teaches you the art of delayed gratification.
Yeah. Would you have any favorite pieces of his to play on the piano?
Partita, C minor.
C minor, really? Mm-hmm. I played that on the guitar. Dum diddle dip doo doo boom boom diddle dip doo doo boom boom.
Well, I'm sure there's many C minor.
Maybe there's more than one.
Yeah.
That's not the one you were thinking
Bum
of.
bum bum ba bum 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 ba bum.
Oh, it's a different C minor partita.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah. He wrote so much stuff.
Voluminous.
Oh my gosh. Prolific, both in having children and making partitas.
Sounds like a Mexican dish.
It does.
I'm hungry. I want to eat some partitas.
Having kids and partitas.
I know. That sounds great. Kim,
Kids,
have you-
we're having partitas tonight.
yeah.
Your mother is making partitas.
Yeah. Catfish on partitas. Yeah.
Well, Kim Lee, thank you so much for coming over and talking to us tonight.
Yes, Kim.
Oh, it's such a pleasure to talk to
Come on
the
here.
three of you.
Come on.
Không có chị anh. You're welcome.
Wonderful having you here.
You've been listening to The Authenticity Show with your hosts, Carlos Casados and Satch Purcell. Very special thanks to our guest, the amazing Kim Lee. My name is Oliver Althoen. I produce the show. I also wrote our theme song, which you're listening to right now. And the interstitial music this time was a piece I wrote and recorded with my children. That's Zoe Althoen on the bass and Emmett Althoen on the piano. Please remember to subscribe to The Authenticity Show wherever you get your podcasts. Find us on social media, and you can find our website at authenticityshow.com. Thanks for listening, and have an authentic day.